Good morning and welcome. You're on to Aspheric TV and this is the morning newspaper briefing. My name is David Gifts. This is the program where we bring you front pages of Nigerian dailies and we get to discuss the headlines that this paper has brought up. I'll start off with the Punch newspaper. Punch newspaper says politics/insecurity. Demand for bulletproof vehicles, special security gadgets surges. VIPs, politicians, others procure armored SUVs. Demand overwhelms dealers. Suppliers confirm increased demand. Sales experts worry over killings, kidnappings. Politicians' actions show 2023 polls may not be violence-free. Pro-democracy groups. Also, police seizes 123 oil vessels. Others begin prosecution. Nigeria's economic outlook uncertain, welfare worsening, World Bank. Muslim to Muslim ticket, Tinubu Shetima frustrating reconciliation, says Lawal. The Daily Trust newspaper says Nigeria must have national dream, identity. Obasanjo says country needs unifier to address current disunity. Nigeria's future will be great, Osibanjo. Leadership quality declining. Recruitment process faulty, Abakoba, Jega. Don't get carried away by propaganda, Okonjo-Iweala. Despite high external reserve, forex pressure remains as MPC meets today. August revenue drops by 280 billion naira as FG states LGA's shares 673.137 billion naira. Army produces pamphlets to guide officers on elections. The Guardian newspaper says more airlines depart empty as charges, rejections, stifle exports. Air freight imports to exports ratio slumps to 87.13. Stakeholders condemn overseas ban of local yam, beans, smoked fishes, ginger, others. Regulators quick under staff shortage. Multiple guidelines, poor compliance with standards. The Vanguard newspaper says PFN, ex-SGF Lawal disowned bishops that met Tinubu. Tinubu desperate, procuring fake Christian groups, Babachir Lawal. PFN or can't dictate to APC, Keyamo. Why Buhari directed exclusion of Osibanjo Mustafa from campaign council. Kwara South stakeholders protest exclusion from campaign council. APC irresponsible, doesn't deserve re-election, LP. PDP crisis, Atiku reaches out, moves to break Wike's rants. No plan to sell TCN BP. ASU, resulting to litigation will prolong strike. Nigeria passing through hard times, UN, that's on insecurity. The Daily Sun newspaper says, Wike's camp plots for Mimiko to replace Ayu in last-ditch efforts to get embattled national chair. Obasanjo Okonjo-Iweala push for increased investment in electricity, say Africa must synergize to fix energy concerns. Pipeline surveillance, Governor Diri, INC resolve Tompolo, Asari, Ateke rifts. The This Day newspaper says, Diri, PDP will emerge stronger, victorious despite crisis. 152 days to 2023 polls, Obi set to disrupt deadlock presidential run. Survey, This Day's survey predicts inconclusive poll at first ballot if elections were held today. To launch major poll in October with renowned global partner. Lastly, we have the Nation newspaper. It says here, disquiet in PDP, NWC over 10 billion naira nomination fees. Members complain about depletion of cash to 1 billion naira. Controversy over bribery lingers. Okowa seeks Saraki's intervention over Wike's threat to boycott presidential campaigns. Anxieties as CBN set to raise interest rates to new high. Anti-oil theft, IG confirms seizure of 123 vessels. Can presidents to youths. Don't be politicians' body shields. Why we have not endorsed Peter Obi by Ohaneze. Oyetola Adeleke trade wars as tribunal begins sitting. Those are the newspaper headlines we have. We'll go on a short break. When we return, I'll have my guests in the studio and we'll discuss some of these headlines with you. Please stay with us. Welcome back. I have my guest, Mr. Mustafa Abdul Malik, with me. Good morning, sir. Welcome on the program.
Good morning, Gift. How are you?
I'm fine.
How was your weekend?
It was fine. How was yours?
Fine.
It's a rainy morning today.
Yeah, it's raining, yeah.
Let's start off with the PDP issue. Apparently, aside the whole crisis between Governor Wike and the presidential candidate, a fresh controversy has erupted in the PDP concerning the nomination forms, the money that was gotten from the nomination forms, which was 10 billion naira. And then there are allegations that it's now 1 billion naira left. What are your thoughts on this crisis that is just starting now, less than 48 hours before campaigns start?
Well, I don't think that it's really a problem, but everything is a problem now because already PDP is disunited. To me, I don't see PDP I see PDP like a party that is not serious to win an election because they seems to have been getting themselves enmeshed with Wike rift, which they are seeing as if is a major problem. I don't think that Wike is a major threat to PDP's outing in 2023. The major threat to PDP is Peter Obi. Recall that Peter Obi is part of PDP, and we will now discover that the stronghold of PDP is southeast and south. You now discover that part of those two regions now are now pro Peter Obi. Instead of dwelling time on this rift between them and Wike, and then which is now degenerating to some other things, because certainly this aspect of this money that was raised and been spent or not spent, or saying that it's 1 billion, I believe that the people that are talking about this are just looking forward to a way of pushing out Iyochayu, who is the party chairman. I don't think it's a problem, but it's not a problem because they are looking for one way or the other way of a problem coming out so that they can see reason or basis for pushing him out. And I don't think they are getting it right. Whether they like it or not, whatever internal crisis they're having is not much compared to the threats of Peter Obi, which has so far taken over large chunk of the PDP followers.
Apparently the previous crisis concerning Wike and the presidential candidates of the PDP is still on, and then there are talks here and there that some members of the PDP, that is precisely the Wike's camp, plan to replace IU with Mimiko. What do you think? Is there a possibility that this could happen?
There's a possibility because if you could, I believe, just like Olisa Metu said last week, he said Wike is going about the way Wike is going. It's not going about it the right way, that there are channels that Wike would need to approach. He mentioned the National Working Committee of the party. He mentioned the Board of Trustees and some other arms within the party that Wike is supposed to approach to say, okay, look, I have grievances and I will need redress to my grievances. And if he has need to say, okay, we want a replacement for the chairman of the party, there are procedures that he's supposed to take. And now you now discover that Segun Mimiko's name has been mentioned as a likely successor from Wike's camp to succeed Yochayo. I believe that probably they are going to use the National Working Committee members against Yochayo. Yochayo should see this coming. The presidential candidate of the party has been saying, he said, look, that if Yochayo should go, it should be through the proper procedure. And what are the procedures? The same way he was elected, the same way he should be booted out. And that is who are the people that can boot him out? The National Working Committee members and the NEC and the Board of Trustees members. These are the procedures that he can be booted out as the chairman of the party. Well, whatever way that they try to do it, it will end up in a way of litigation in the court, of which I don't think it will augur well for them. But like we have been saying, all I'm seeing here is a situation whereby they are trying to, some members of the party are trying to weaken the party ahead of 2023. Because the deed has been done, the party primaries was done, the party did not have a mechanism, a conflict resolution mechanism, that is after the primaries, and until this very moment, I believe that it has already gone out of hand now. There's nothing they can do. Even if there is not anything they can do, it should be probably on the basis of begging for forgiveness to say, no, okay, look, come, we have our destiny as a politicians is at stake. Let's close rank, let's work together, otherwise all of us will be swept out. That is where they're heading to right now.
Let's see how the PDP deals with this issue in the end. Moving on to the APC, some Pentecostal bishops visited the APC presidential candidate, and then a few days after their visits, the PFN disowned these bishops. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's you must discover that this is a problem that is avoidable. Had it been the party did the right thing from inception, if they had not done the right thing from the inception, you cannot discover that they are spending more time on trying to appease the Christian community to say, okay, look, this one is this one is that, to the extent that now PFN now, or the Babachir Lawal is now saying that the party has procured fake bishops. Well, I don't think they are fake. They are not fake per se. Probably PFN now is now saying, okay, probably some of them are not members of PFN or member of CAN. I believe that there are some Christians, bishop leaders that are not member of the two bodies. So the issue of they are fake or not is not arise. It shouldn't arise. But one thing is clear in this case now. What is clear in this case is the fact that APC didn't do well, and that is why they are junketing from here and there to make sure that they bring some Christian leaders into their fold to say, okay, to portray them as a pro all religion, and that is exactly what they are doing now. But I don't think they are doing it the right way. They should have done this. You see, we shouldn't shy away from the fact that, look, featuring Muslim tickets is everything wrong, and that is why you now see them going extra length to make sure that they appease the Christian community here and there. But the fact still remains that, look, whatever they do, that's as long as the Muslim tickets still stand, certainly they will still continue to have this acceptance problem.
The This Day newspaper had a rather interesting headline that I would like to read a snippet of the story for better understanding. And it says, it's 152 days to 2023 polls will be set to disrupt deadlock presidential run. With 152 days to the 2023 general election and less than 48 hours to the official commencement of political campaign as indicated in the timeline and schedule of activities of the INEC, presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, is not just the issue in the election, but he also appears set to disrupt and deadlock the February 25th presidential race. A recent This Day survey revealed that with the obedience movement fast gaining traction in many parts of the country, especially as new volunteers enlist on the Obi project almost on a daily basis, there might not be a clear winner in the first ballot of the presidential run, as the Obi factor might cause a disruption, leading to an inconclusive exercise. This Day is launching a major opinion poll from October to study the trends in more depth and local government by local government sample size, with a key global partner and big-time player in the polling world. But what the current trends presuppose is that Obi is causing a major upset in the election that could disrupt and deadlock the presidential bout such that no winner would emerge, thereby forcing a runoff. Already, the 2023 presidential election is generally considered a three-horse race among the trio of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and Peter Obi. What are your thoughts on this story?
Well, we don't know who really commissioned this day newspaper to decide to embark on the opinion
survey
poll.
Like that.
So they are in a media business whereby it's by their right they can decide to commission themselves to say, okay, we want to do this. Well, the fact is that whatever the opinion poll is, whatever the result of the opinion poll, something is certain. What is certain in this case is that already INEC has the number of registered voters and the PVC collected, which is spread across the 36 states of the Federation and Abuja. Whatever we decide to see, the opinion poll must tally with the number of voters PVC collected, because at the end of the day, there are some people that will come online to say, okay, they will answer, but in the instance they don't have the PVC. So everything now boils down to the number of PVC collected. Irrespective of the mass movement that we have seen so far behind Peter Obi, I still believe that he decided to take the best initiative by reaching out to the far north and some other northern state, which is, to me, is the basic thing that you need to do. Because if you look at it very well, already his stronghold of south and southeast, the number of PVC collected is already known. So by the time he now decided to shoot himself out to some other part of the country, you now discover that movement will now decide to that popularity will increase in some other part of the country too. Just like this they said that, look, it's going to be a three-horse race. Certainly it's going to be a three-horse race. But like I previously said here, you discover that PDP is facing a serious threat, because part of the chunk of their supporters are now being divided between Obi and Atiku Abubakar. Then you have Tinubu alone on his own side, which is facing a very serious problem. The issue of the Muslim ticket, which is generating a lot of controversy within the party and as well as outside the party too. So if this they say that, look, it's not going to come out that first, they will eventually have a rerun. I see a rerun to come in, and I don't think that rerun would do us well, because if you understand Nigeria very well, each time we are stepping into an election, there is this general political tense around the country. So just imagine a situation whereby an election is held on the February 25th, then 26, 27, 28, then the result is not yet out. You should be able to project what will happen around the country. Then before you now talk about the rerun again. So we don't pray for a rerun. We pray for that on 25th. Whatever vote that is being cast, that vote should be counted, and the winner should emerge after the February 25th.
With the way that Peter Obi has amassed a lot of followership in many parts of the country, we've seen peaceful walks, even though campaigns have not officially started. In different parts of the country, people have marched for Peter Obi, and people have come out in their large numbers. If eventually the elections hold and then a rerun now takes place, do you see violence or something like that happening?
Election is not the way you think that. Recall that this is just a mass movement whereby it's the other political parties that have not started on their own. It's just them that are doing. But when you come to the eventual election itself, certainly they will be tense. They will be a situation whereby you decided to say, okay, let me even give you break it down for you so that you understand it very well. Do you even know why they are doing this mass movement now? They are doing mass movement now to create that kind of threat to some other political parties to say, look, if you dare to do something like this, we have the capacity to hit the street and do whatever we can do. So that is exactly what they are doing now. Because otherwise, if the electioneering campaign has already kick out, but they are trying to like send a particular message, and that is the message they are sending. So in this case now, we are dwelling on Peter Obi only. No, there's some other political parties too to say, okay, we are capable of doing this. Take for instance what happened in 2015. Why did you think Goodluck Jonathan decided to before the final result was announced, he decided to concede defeat and call President Buhari to solve a major problem in the country, and that is why he did it. In a race, certainly you should expect a kind of reaction, a violent reaction too. And if you observe very well, although US and some other Western world, they have not issued their projection for the aftermath of the election, but each year they try to issue warning their citizens to say, okay, don't go like this, be careful. Because of what? Because they are suspecting a kind of a violent reaction, which is peculiar to African nations. So, but we pray for a peaceful election. We don't pray for an election that would put Nigeria unity at stake. So we just pray and pray that we have a peaceful and credible election in 2023.
That's right. That's about it for this morning. Thanks for joining me on the program, Mr. Mustafa. My name is Dabur Gift. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Aspheric TV on YouTube. Also follow us on all of our social media platforms. On Instagram and Twitter, we are Aspheric News, and on Facebook, we are official Aspheric News. You can also visit our website, www.asphericnews.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.